My name's Dawn. I'm from Elm Park, or East London originally, but moved to just into Essex, and I'm 54. Thank you. The story will say I've had a lot of surgery.
Right, so let's start from, where was the mole?
I didn't have a mole.
Was it a lesion, or was it?
It was what I can describe as like an age spot,
Okay.
but here in front of my left ear.
Right, okay.
My mum noticed it. I had waist length, curly, very dark hair, and I was very grey. So I used to dye it, and I went into my mum's and she said, "Oh, they've left a bit of dye on you."
Wow.
And she got a flannel and soap and it wouldn't come off. And I'd never noticed it. It was literally, I don't know, less than a 1p kind of size. And I said, "Oh, it's just, I am quite freckly anyway."
Yeah.
So left it, and my husband noticed that it had grown. Went to the doctor, age old story. "Oh yeah, no, that's okay. It's nothing. It's not a mole. It's nothing."
Mm-hmm.
That was probably on and off for a couple of years.
Wow.
And I went to the doctor with my daughter.
Yeah.
And I think I knew, because by now it had probably got to a maybe 10p size, and it had gone, like frilly and different colours. But it was still very flat, just looked like a big kind of tea stain.
Yeah. So did you, when you found it, did you look at the ABCD evil? Did you know anything?
Never knew anything really about that.
So you just looked at it and you thought, that doesn't look right, that's definitely
Yeah,
changed.
I kind of had my husband kept going on at me. I had just had, by then I just had a feeling, like maybe a sixth sense that it wasn't right. Went to the doctors with my daughter, and I said, "You need to," "Oh no, it's okay, it's okay." And I said, "I'm not leaving your room in the surgery unless you, until you do me a referral."
Good.
And I'm not normally like that. I'm quite shy, and so he said he'd do me a referral, but he didn't do it as a 2-week one then, because this was in 2013.
Right.
Didn't do it for an emergency one. He done it for 12 weeks, like a normal kind of referral.
God.
Went to Queen's Hospital in Romford. Their dermatology is really good. Went in there, and as soon as I sat down in front of the consultant, she picked up the phone.
Did she?
And I said, "It's melanoma, isn't it?" And she said, "Yeah." She didn't look in a dermoscope. She didn't even, she was probably from me to you away. And she picked up the phone to maxillofacial department. A surgeon came in. This was on the Wednesday, I think. And he said, "Okay, I'll come in on Sunday, day clinic. We'll have that off. I'll pack it with, and sew the packing in. Then once the results come back, if we need a wider excision, then we'll do it, and we'll see how it goes."
Okay.
So I went in on the Sunday, day surgery. They took it off with a margin.
Quite a big.
Yeah, I've got photos if anyone.
Yeah.
So probably that kind of size, like a plum.
So like down the side, or?
Yeah, sort of here.
Oh, okay. Oh, I can see it now, yeah.
So packed it with dressing, and then spoke to him, and he said that obviously I'll get the results. Sometimes it takes weeks,
Yeah.
but just to be careful, don't get it wet. Blah, blah. So then 10 days I got a phone call to come and see them.
So they phoned you up?
Yeah, they told me to come in for an appointment.
Did you know then? Did you have that gut feeling?
Yeah,
Because the phone
I knew.
Was it no caller ID? I hate them ones.
Yes, it was, and I don't normally answer them,
No,
but
me
you're waiting
no,
for something. I actually didn't think it was going to be that quick.
Yeah.
Went up and I have to do everything on my own. My husband he's a panicker, so when I was in day surgery, he was driving me insane, because he asked questions before the doctor can actually tell me, and it's him, he cares.
Yeah.
He was frightened.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cry.
isn't it funny when you talk about your loved ones?
I don't talk about it.
You talk about it all day long, finding about you going through it, but when you talk about someone that you love and you're looking at them going through it, you're making me cry now.
Sorry.
But
Hearing
yeah,
other stories as well. It's, I forgot where I got up to, sorry.
So you go on your own?
Yeah, I got one on my own. As soon as I walked in, there's a cancer care nurse, there's the maxillofacial surgeon, there's the dermatologist, there's another nurse. I knew as soon as you walk in. So then it was just preparing for the operation because of where it was. I couldn't have a skin graft because there's no real sort of fat or flesh to kind of sew it into. So the next step was seeing the maxillofacial surgeon, which they took me straight into his office, and he had to plan the operation because the wider excision would go from my eye to my ear. So he had to plan it, how to cover that part without making me disfigured.
So I'm guessing there's obviously muscle there, there's lots of stuff there.
Yeah, so
it's not just a normal off your leg.
No. So they done the wider, booked me in for the end of September 2013. They said 1 or 2 days I'd be in hospital. They wasn't quite sure because of how he drew all the sketches of my head, how he was going to do it. So that they'd take the wider excision, they'd shave my head, half my head they actually shaved. Then they done a skin flap. So they cut my ear off, basically. My ear was, and then I've got scars there now, but you can't see him. He was a magician. So he done a flap around here, pulled that forward, so basically like half a facelift. So that's probably why I look good. So they pulled up, just pulled it all kind of together, stapled, sewed it all in. I've got a little tiny bald patch here where the flap come from, which they said that they could deal with earlier, like later, and I said like, no, it's fine, just I don't care. So it's only when I get really hot or flushed that you can actually see the scar down here.
Okay.
Other than that, yeah, if I shave my head, I've got to have short hair because my hair now doesn't grow correctly, so it all goes all over the place. And really weirdly, I didn't have to have chemo, radiotherapy. It was taken out in that wider excision, and there wasn't any rogue cells that went too far. But my hair's totally changed.
Is it?
Yeah, it was really, really dark brown, very curly, very Irish.
Yeah.
It's straight. It come back light brown, and I was really grey underneath.
Yeah.
But I've got kind of smatterings of grey now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Wow.
mine's more surgery. What I looked like than
That's
I was stage 1B. So compared to other people.
Yeah, but Dawn, you still, that's quite a journey what you've been through. Like,
But I kind of get imposter syndrome because I didn't have treatment.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
It was all surgical.
But I think that's another thing that we always speak about, don't we, as well as being in the community, is that imposter syndrome is very, very, very normal. Like I get that as well, because people just look at you and go, you've had it removed. It's like, oh, it was just, it's gone. And I'm like, well,
But mine's not until they see the photos of what I looked like. They kind of go, whoa. And then it's before that, it's like, oh, you've had it removed, you know.
You're all good. Yeah.
But I'm constantly having removals.
So you're covered in moles as well?
Not moles. They're never a mole.
No.
It's always a lesion or just a mark.
Yeah.
Or an itchy spot.
So you just have them taken off?
And I haven't taken off. Quite a few have been precancerous.
Yeah.
One I had removed a few months ago on my back was melanoma, but they got the margin, so.
Sounds good.
So it's good, yeah.
So then after your op, you started to recover. Obviously, it's healed really well, which looks fantastic, by the way.
Thank you.
It's incredible.
That's a surgeon. Surgeon was
I know,
amazing.
They are,
Amazing.
Some of the ones I've got, you wouldn't even know that they're there, and mine are, I'm not even that big. But so you recovered from surgery, which was great. How do you find now moving forwards? One, I'm going to ask you how you find people around you afterwards. I'll answer that one first, and then how are you dealing with it moving forward? Being how many years clear are you now?
I'm never going to be clear.
Yeah.
I'm never going to get the all clear.
So you mean as in moving forwards?
I'm really. I've got horses. I've got dogs. I'm outside a lot. I make sure that I've got sun cream on.
Yeah.
I'm on anybody that I see. I'm with a funny looking whatever on their skin. I bang the drum, and you've got to. And it's my husband goes, look at her, look at that picture, and go and have that checked. And yeah.
So after again, we spoke about this before, but how did you find people around you after you was diagnosed as well?
Without looking at the pictures or what I looked like at the time, which was kind of a Frankenstein, and it was Halloween, so I had quite a good costume. Sorry, make you. I've got to laugh. I was going to cry. Yeah.
Like obviously your
but it's just
there.
Yeah.
How did you find it extended? So your friends and other people
didn't really take a lot of notice.
Don't do that. Yeah.
No, lost my best friend at the time. We'd kind of fallen out, got back together. It was a big long story, but I phoned her to tell her that I'd been diagnosed. And that was kind of the end of the phone call. And then she never rang back to see how I was.
And that's the problem, is that there are some people out there that literally, if that phone call had been something different, as in, I've just been diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah, I think it would have been a lot different.
The conversation would have been a little bit more in depth. Do you reckon?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And it's horrible, isn't it? Because it's still so important, and it's still your body, and it still could recur, and it still could, that you're living with it. You're not, like you just said, everyone, you'll never be clear. It's just a case of you live with it now.
Yeah.
And I don't think people really get that until they've been diagnosed, and unless it happens to you, then they're never going to know, are they?
Yeah. No, I like my son's he's got a few moles on his back. When he was younger, I made sure that he was mole mapped.
Yeah.
I took him to the doctors and said, he's like, you've got to have a look, he's got to go to a dermatologist because of me. Yeah. You don't know whether it's genetic, I've been told I may have a faulty gene because of the reoccurrence. Yeah. They don't know whether mine is sun damage or not. So it could be. Yeah. So he's mole mapped and I check him constantly. Yeah. He's 22, but I check him constantly.
So obviously, you had the operation if it was done, and then what happened after that? You've had any recurrence, did you say, or that's?
I've had, in that it's nearly 10 and a half years, I've probably had 12 removals, maybe.
Right. But apart from one, they've all been.
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 were pre-cancerous,
right.
and then one was melanoma, but they got the margin. Yeah, so there was no wider excision needed.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. I can't believe that.
Sorry, I cried.
No. It's amazing how we can talk about ourselves all day long, but you include someone else into the equation, usually people that we love.
Yeah.
Because as much as he annoys the life out of me.
Who?
When I talk about him being in the room when I go through my ops, I end up getting more emotional because what people don't realise is it's not just us. We worry about them too, the people around us. I think
I found that. I won't from appointment to appointment. Yeah. Just give me what I need to do.
That's it.
No one can come with me. Yeah. My mum and dad were like, no, you're not. I've got to do this on my own. I will tell you, not what you need. I will tell you, I'll be truthful, but you need to let me do it on my own. I need to go to the appointment. I need to do it on my own. And then I'll tell you what they say, what else has to happen, or anything like that. But I have to do it on my own.
It's the same as me, isn't it?
I can't. I can't.
Sometimes people take that offensively, but I have to.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Because I have to. It has to be clear in my head, and I feel like if someone else is in the room, I don't know why. I just feel that extra pressure of them listening to.
Yeah, I think my dad took me for one appointment, and that was because I couldn't drive because of the surgery.
Yeah.
And other than that,
We've been to them all.
I've got to go on my own. If I can't drive, then drop me off.
Yeah,
You're not coming in.
outside,
You're not. I
yeah.
need to deal with this on my own.
Yeah, it's mad how we all do that, and everyone's different. But some people might like.
Because I can't deal with your reaction.
That's it. There you go. Yeah.
Because then I need to stay strong. I've got 2 children. I've got a business, a husband. I've got, you know, animals, and I need to stay strong. But I can't have you crying there, because then I'll break down, and then I'm not going to be that strong person anymore. And I need to deal with it as I need to deal with it. So that's how I kind of dealt with it, really.
Well, you're incredible. And
Thank you. I'm not.
No, you are. You all are. And that's why you're all here. So thanks for sharing it. I really appreciate it. Looking at you now, you wouldn't even know that what you've been through. And
you wouldn't know.
But I always say we don't always see the scars, because mentally as well.
Oh yeah.
Inside,
yeah.
And I think that is a big part of this journey, because the scars are sometimes only that small. The moles.
But the mentally, yeah.
Attached to it is even more so.
And then you get like you're sitting there waiting for your appointment, and you might be an hour over, like 10 o'clock. It's now 11:05, and I just sat there and read my book, and there was all these people, mostly older people, I must admit, moaning, and normally I just don't say nothing. And someone in there maybe getting the rug pulled off from their feet and being told that they've got cancer. So just chill your beans, kind of thing, because there's someone in there. They've been in there a long time.
Yeah, and they've been there for a reason.
Yeah, so I just sit and I wait. You're going to get called eventually. But yeah.
As a part and parcel of the journey, you do get used to that as well, don't you? The waiting around for I think the anxiety towards the appointments is definitely the worst part.
Definitely, yeah.
Waiting that is the most, I found anyway, the most mentally, the horriblest bit out of it all. Once I'm in there and I'm talking to them and I'm having the excisions done and and I know what I'm doing, I'm fine, but it's the waiting in between.
It's the time frame now as well.
Yeah.
They say like 16 weeks before you get a result.
Yeah.
And that could be too long.
Yeah, I know.
It could have, it could have spread in that 4 or 5 months.
Constantly, isn't it? Yeah. So you want to get it in.
Yeah, the anxiety is terrible. Yeah.